The Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria has told the federal government that removing fuel subsidy will worsen the suffering of the majority of Nigerians who are already impoverished. The president of PFN, Bishop Wale Oke, urged the government to shelve the proposed policy in order not to worsen the hardship and trigger crisis of the country. Oke said this in a statement issued today on the proposed subsidy removal. He explained that the implementation of the policy would lead to a hike in the price of fuel, and this would have a ripple effect on prices of goods and services. Bishop Oke further said the situation in the country was very bad because of the steady decline in the purchasing power of Nigerians as a result of the continuous fall in the value of the nation's currency. The Ogun State House of Assembly will on Tuesday, 30th November 2021, play host to the state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for the presentation of the year 2022 appropriation bill. A statement by the deputy clerk of the Assembly, Barrister Fumi Adeyemi, indicates that the presentation of the 2022 budget proposal, being the third since inception of the present administration in the state, would take place in the hallowed chamber of the Assembly, Okemoso, Abeokuta, at 10 in the morning. The statement adds that all invited stakeholders, guests and other government functionaries are expected to be seated in line with COVID-19 protocols by 9:30 in the morning. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has assured that work would commence on the Ilishan-Agoiwoye Road by the first quarter of next year. Governor Abiodun, who gave the assurance at the 35th edition of Akeson Day celebration held at the Keshinti Adebutu Civic Center, Iperu Remo, in Ikenne local government area, added that the Iperu-Ilishan Road would be dualized to serve the agro-cargo airport in the area. Government Service Correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu report.
It was a rousing welcome for Governor Dapo Abiodun as he arrived for the 35th edition of Akeson Day, a cultural festival in Iperu Remo, Ikenne local government area of the state. This event has become a significant celebration to all sons and daughters of the community to improve the socio-economic standard of the area, while pointing out that the occasion was to celebrate the rich culture of the town. Governor Abiodun disclosed that a 100-bed hospital under the Sustainable Development Goals, National Automobile Training Center, and Integrated Farm Center would also be located in the area through the assistance of President Muhammadu Buhari.
You are the true essence of governance and government. Now, what do I expect of you? First, I expect for you to continue to lift us up in prayers. I expect for you to continue to pray for this administration. I expect you to continue to be responsible citizens and indigents of the state. I expect you to continue to pay your taxes.
He also stressed on the need for all sons and daughters of Ikweru, as well as residents, to unite for the town to experience meaningful development.
Let us continue to ensure that we sustain this image and this status as the most peaceful state. Because for us as administration, our vision, which is to create an enabling environment for public-private sector partnership, because we believe it's fundamental to the economic growth of this state, and with economic growth, there will be individual prosperity.
The State Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Toyin Taiwo, Akarigbo and Paramount Ruler of Remoland, Oba Babatunde Ajayi, as well as Alakperu of Ikperu, Oba Adeleke Basibo, among other dignitaries, said the identity and heritage of the land depend on the quality of its people, adding that Ikperu has the identity and the quality which its youth could harness for development.
The designation of being a cultural and historical ancient town signifies a milestone in the cultural history of this noble town.
Sons and daughters of the community on the development needs of the people by looking beyond the past, evaluating the present, and charting a new course.
Ìlú yìí
gbogbo Ògùn state tó ti tòrò yìí tó ń ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ o àṣẹ máa tí ìgbéga máa rí lókun state.
The event was attended by dignitaries including the State Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimo Salakoyedele, traditional rulers, government functionaries, among others. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has identified with the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Adebo Edward Ogundoyin, as a tied nuptial knot with his half-trib, Olamidun Ayomikun Majekodumi. The event, which held in Ibadan, attracted eminent personalities, including current and former governors, as well as royal fathers, among others. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyev report.
All Souls Anglican Church, Bodija in Ibadan, hosted the holy solemnization of holy matrimony between Olamidun Ayomikun Majekodumi and Adebo Edward Ogundoyin, who is the Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly.
The Lord will befriend you and make you friends to each other. May good children add flavor to your life.
Dignitaries including Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun and his counterparts from Oyo, Governor Seyi Makinde, and Ondo Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, as well as Otumba Gbenga Daniel, Oni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty Oba Enitan Ogunwusi Adeyeye, Yalode of Yoruba Land, Chief Mrs. Alaba Lawson, among others, congratulate both families and advise the couple to emulate their parents by establishing goodwill in their endeavors. The preacher, Most Reverend Olatunji Akifenwa, encouraged the couple to be totally submissive to each other, while also used the medium to advise political leaders to rise to their responsibility at ensuring the citizenry enjoy the dividends of democracy.
All of you are elite politicians. Please arise. Have mercy on the Nigerian citizens. Bury your differences and join hands to solve the problem of Nigeria.
With this Thanksgiving, the couple said coming together as husband and wife was ordained by God. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
No fewer than 20 people have been empowered, with over 400 benefiting from various food items donated by Amadalat Ajun Foundation, a non-governmental organization that takes joy in bringing succor to the less privileged. The 2 weeks empowerment program was rounded off with presentation of certificate and makeup kit to all the participants. The event was held at Mokola Junction, Mokola Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital.
Amdalat Ajun Foundation is a non-governmental organization that takes up the responsibility of bringing succor to the less privileged in the society through various laudable empowerment programs for the young and old in Ogun State and beyond. Gathered here at Mokola Junction are another set of beneficiaries who participated in a 2-week training and empowerment program on makeup and tying of headgear put together by Amdalat Ajun Foundation. The chairperson, Amdalat Ajun Foundation, Mrs. Yetunde Ajun, sheds more light on the purpose of the foundation, charging the participants to take full advantage of the program.
There is hunger in our land. Few days ago, after I went for the interview at the Street FM, I burst into tears. I was crying. The level of people calling me, they need food, they want to eat. They were crying. They said they don't want money. They are just hungry. They want to eat. And I can see them that they are hungry. They want to eat. No government. So please, I'm on my nail. I'm begging them. They should do more to the hunger in our land. And God will help us.
Some of the participants appreciated the gesture of the foundation, saying they have acquired skills that can put food on their tables.
Well, I'm very happy because I've been trying to get myself involved in this. I couldn't afford the money, so it's just like an opportunity for me.
Very happy to be among the participants. And on behalf of everyone, so we say a very big thank you to Madam Ajun Ishola. May God continue to bless her.
The event also witnessed presentation of food items and walking sticks to over 400 beneficiaries. Certificates of participation and makeup kits were thereafter presented to all participants. Widows, aged, disabled, and the less privileged in the society also smiled home in the course of the program.
Civil servants have been charged to put in their best during service, not relenting, but serve with everything within their capacity. The charge was given by the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, who was represented by the wife of the Speaker, Ogun State House of Assembly, Mrs. Victoria Bolanle Oluomo, at the retirement and 60th birthday celebration Thanksgiving service of the Secretary of the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bolanle Allen. Our reporter Margaret Okunlola report that the service was held at the Faith Rebudist Assembly, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. Her report.
Truly, it was the day that the Lord has made, as Mrs. Bolanle Adenike Allen, surrounded by loved ones, rejoiced and celebrates God's faithfulness in her life, retiring after 35 years in service. The wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, who was represented by the wife of the Speaker, Ogun State House of Assembly, Mrs. Victoria Bolanle Oluomo, described the celebrant as a virtuous woman who is dedicated to work.
She's a very humble and nice woman. My advice to others that are coming behind her is that they should learn how to humble themselves and work hard, because this is one of those things that I've learned from her, in which I want others to emulate from her.
Colleagues, church members, family, friends and well-wishers testified to the good deeds of Mrs. Bolanle Allen, wishing her the best of life ahead.
She's hardworking, very friendly, the mother to the poor, and Miss Allen will deal with everybody equally.
God grant her robust health, prosperity, all the goodness of God.
She's an inspiration, and not everything is rosy, though you are parents, daughter and mother, you guys have arguments and stuff like that, but she's my backbone, she's always there for me.
Highly committed, and is one of the pillars in the church.
To the celebrant, Mrs. Bolanle Adenike Allen, joining the sexagenarian age is not by her might, but by the mercies of God.
I am really so excited because I don't know how to explain it. Because today, God is so great, is so marvelous.
Highlight of the event was a special prayer organized for the celebrant and her family, and cutting of the birthday cake. Mrs. Bolanle Adenike Allen began her service in Ogun State Civil Service State Television Station and was later transferred to the mainstream civil service, where she rose to the position of the secretary to the wife of the Ogun State Governor, where she retired. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
It is the will of God for every human being on earth to offer thanksgiving to him for all he has done. The former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, stated this while addressing the congregation at the 10th Harvest Thanksgiving service of Chapel of Christ, the Glorious King in Okemosan, Abeokuta. Taiwo Adebiyi report that the program hosted members of the church and visitors within and outside the state. Her report.
The year 2021 Harvest Thanksgiving of Chapel of Christ, the Glorious King was an avenue to appreciate God for his wondrous love upon the church and Ogun State at large. The event featured praise, prayer, thanksgiving of November birthday celebrants, and the harvest celebration proper. Former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, his wife, Chief Bola Obasanjo, the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Chief Edward Onoja, Ogun State Christian Chiefs Council, North Central Romanist Movement, among other dignitaries, graced the occasion. Expressing gratitude to God, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo described the year's harvest as bountiful and prayed that the new year will be great and prosperous. In his sermon tagged Fresh Grace, Reverend Femi Olajide pointed out that God can do all things, and humans need to tap into the Word of God in time of need to get the promises fulfilled.
And if God has spoken to you concerning it, believe it, no matter how difficult it is for human being. Luke chapter 1 verse 7. Through the angel of God speaking to Mary, said what? For with God, nothing is what is impossible. So,
Church officials expressed gratitude to God for upholding the church and making the day a huge success.
Lord, and the grace of mercy of God will continue to be with Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, and that the Lord that is gracing him, the job that he's doing in Horn of Africa, God will let him make a success.
And God has been very kind to us. Every time I come here, I get the blessings of God.
Indeed, the church harvest is a time for reflection and occasion to thank God for his love and kindness upon mankind.
The Ogun State Police Command has confirmed the deaths of 2 persons in a tanker explosion accident that occurred in the early hours of Sunday at Lafenwa Market in Abeokuta Nelsoku government area of the state. The State Police Commissioner, while speaking with our reporter, Binga Adekoya, at the scene of the unfortunate incident, said normalcy has been restored to the market after some hoodlums had earlier attacked officers and men of the Nigerian police force, according to the commissioner.
Fire engulfed, apparently from a place, maybe there was a spark, I can't confirm that now, but there was fire. And all we had to do was to cordon off the place. First, to ensure that miscreants did not take advantage of the situation to loot shops, and secondly, to ensure that other casualties are not recorded. That is why we are here, and that's what we are doing now, is to ensure that normalcy returns to this area. The fire services from both the state and federal have been up and doing. They have been able to put off the fire, while efforts are on to transload the remaining petrol still inside the tanker.
According to the commissioner, the oil spillage from the petroleum tanker also led to the fire outbreak that gutted some shops in Lafenwa Market. The Ogun State Commandant Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps Trace, Sheni Ogunyemi, said efforts are underway to evacuate the laden truck to further curb another fire outbreak.
The situation has been calmed down. So we are just waiting for the tanker to cool down so that we can evacuate. It's going to be a gradual process. It's not something that we can do in an hour. So because there's still fuel inside, we have to calm down. We have to call them back for transloading of the remaining fuel.
Officers and men of the State Fire Service, Federal Fire Service were on the ground to prevent the fire outbreak, but were beaten black and blue by some aggrieved residents, according to the Director of Federal Fire Service, Mr. Paul Ilisami.
The hoodlum did not allow us to perform our duty. So they attacked our vehicle. The vehicle has already been damaged. All my men has been brutalized. As I'm talking to you, they are nowhere to be found.
Corpses of the victims, reportedly identified as a mother and her daughter, who were sleeping at their shop a few meters away from the scene of the incident, have been deposited at the mortuary. And on the foreign scene, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, says Africa is not the source of COVID-19, which was first discovered in Wuhan, China, some 2 years ago. The 61-year-old campaigner for equitable distribution of COVID-19 vaccines globally also said that Africa should not be punished for the Omicron COVID-19 variant and other mutations that occur randomly anywhere in the world. Additional stated this in a 3-part tweet on Sunday following the travel ban imposed on southern African countries by the United Kingdom, the United States, the European Union, and some Asian countries as part of an emergency response to the recently discovered B11529 strain of COVID-19 first detected in South Africa. The World Health Organization had on Friday declared the new COVID-19 strain first discovered in South Africa to be a variant of concern and named it Omicron. Meanwhile, the new coronavirus variant Omicron has been detected in 13 people who arrived in the Dutch capital Amsterdam on 2 flights from South Africa. They are among 61 passengers who tested positive for coronavirus. It comes as tighter restrictions come into force in the Netherlands amid COVID-19 cases and concerns over the new variant. Omicron was first reported to the World Health Organization, WHO, by South Africa on Wednesday, and early evidence suggests it has a higher reinfection risk. It has been categorized by the WHO as a variant of concern. Cases of the heavily mutated variant have now been reported in a number of countries around the world, including several in Europe, such as the UK, Germany, and Italy. The passengers who were confirmed to have COVID-19 have since been quarantined at a hotel near Schiphol Airport. Those that tested negative have been asked to isolate at home for 5 days and take further tests. And on sport, the Premier League match between Burnley and Tottenham has called off a little under an hour before kick-off on Sunday because of heavy snow at Turf Moor. Attempt to clear the pitch proved in vain as the under-soil heating struggled to cope and snow fell as quickly as it could be removed. The announcement was made shortly after both sides had named their teams for the match in the northwest of England. Now time to join Mureni Keji Shobaloju on People and Event. Please stay with us.